Your victim card has been declined. Michael slumped into the booth of his favorite coffee shop, staring blankly at the half-empty cup of black coffee in front of him. It had been a rough year. His business had failed, his girlfriend had left, and he was drowning in bills. Life, it seemed, had thrown everything it could at him. As he sat there, wallowing in self-pity, an elderly man slid into the seat across from him uninvited. He was impeccably dressed, his suit crisp, his silver hair neatly combed back. There was something about him, an aura of quiet authority. "You look like a man carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders," the old man observed, taking a sip of his own coffee. Michael sighed. "You could say that. Nothing seems to go my way. No matter what I do, life keeps knocking me down. I've had enough. I feel like a victim of circumstance." The old man chuckled and reached into his pocket, pulling out a small, glossy card. He slid it across the table toward Michael, who hesitantly picked it up. It looked like a credit card, but instead of a bank logo, it had bold, golden letters across the front that read, "Victim Card." Michael frowned, flipping it over. In bright red ink, a single phrase was stamped across the back, "Declined." "What is this?" Michael asked, raising an eyebrow. The old man smiled. "It's a reminder. A lot of people try to pay for their failures, their mistakes, and their setbacks using this card. But the universe doesn't accept it. No matter how much you want to blame others, no matter how much you feel life is unfair, the price of success can never be paid with a victim card." Michael stared at the card, the words sinking in. He had spent months feeling sorry for himself, blaming the economy, blaming bad luck, blaming everything except the one person who had the power to change his circumstances, himself. The old man continued, "Do you know what the most successful people in the world have in common? They take full responsibility for their lives. They don't waste time swiping this useless card. They understand that life doesn't owe them anything. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you can start moving forward." Michael ran his thumb over the red "Declined" stamp. Something inside him shifted. He thought about all the nights he had spent replaying his failures instead of learning from them. All the times he had waited for circumstances to change instead of taking action. The old man leaned in, his voice calm but firm. "Tell me, Michael, when was the last time you truly fought for something? When was the last time you put in the work? Not just hoping things would get better, but making them better?" Michael hesitated. "I tried," he muttered. "But things didn't work out." "Trying isn't the same as committing," the old man countered. "People who succeed don't just try. They decide. They don't sit in coffee shops waiting for a miracle. They create their own." Michael looked around the cafe, seeing people going about their lives. Some were laughing, some were working on laptops, others were reading. For the first time, he wondered how many of them had faced struggles like his and overcome them. The old man stood up, straightened his suit, and placed a business card on the table. "When you decide to stop carrying that card around, give me a call. I help people rebuild, not with excuses, but with action." Michael watched him walk away, his mind racing. For the first time in months, he felt something other than defeat. He felt challenged. He looked at the victim card one last time before tearing it in half and dropping it into his coffee cup. He pulled out his phone and opened a blank document, typing out a new plan for his life. No more excuses, no more playing the victim. His victim card had been declined, and for the first time, he was ready to pay the price of success the right way, with action, resilience, and accountability. As he stepped out of the cafe, the air felt different. He wasn't waiting for life to change anymore. He was changing it himself. The next morning, Michael woke up with a newfound energy. Instead of rolling over and dreading the day, he jumped out of bed. He reviewed his notes from the night before, his action plan, his goals, and the steps he needed to take. No more waiting. It was time to execute. He made a call to an old colleague and set up a meeting to explore a new business idea. He reached out to a mentor he had ignored for months. He even sent an apology message to his ex-girlfriend, not in hopes of reconciliation, but to take responsibility for his own shortcomings. It wasn't about fixing the past. It was about owning his future. Days turned into weeks, and the shift in Michael's mindset started paying off. Opportunities presented themselves, not because luck had changed, but because he had changed. He wasn't stuck anymore. He was in motion. One afternoon, as he was finalizing a business deal, he looked down at his wallet. Where his old victim card used to be, there was now a handwritten note that read, "No more excuses, only action." Michael smiled. He had declined his victim card for good, and in return, life had finally started to approve his efforts. And this time, he was ready to swipe the card that really mattered, the one called ownership.